Hey everyone, welcome to Get Ready with me, Louise. As you can see today, I'm already ready because today we are counting down the top. I got 10 of the bigger palettes by Natasha Denona. Now let me start by saying this is preference only. It's based on color story, performance, all that. But with the performance, all of these palettes I think perform really well. I would not suggest any of these for a beginner, but once you make it past, like, you know where things go, like you got the gist of eyeshadow, that's where I would consider these. And they are easy to work with. I mean, myself, I consider myself a beginner still because I don't know anything about anything, but I find they are easy to work with. Maybe not so much when I really first started getting into makeup, but as I started using shadows and started realizing, lighter hand, heavier hand, stuff like that, the brushes, your tools, all that stuff play a big part in the performance of these. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 10, I know it's going to shock a lot of people because a lot of people do love this palette. It's the Metropolis palette. And it looks like this. And the reason being only, it's just color story I don't really gravitate to. The performance is great. I love the eye look I got out of this. I probably should give it more of a chance, but with the other palettes, they call to me more. Number 9, again, same reasoning, the gold palette. And again, it's beautiful. It really is. And I, again, love the look I get out of it. But I love neutral looks. I do. And basically, that's what this is. But it's titled the gold palette, so what do you expect? You know what I mean? I am glad I have it because I do love the looks I get out of it. But again, the color story, it's just not something I gravitate to, and it's not something I don't feel like I look good in gold. You know what I mean? Oh, this one was hard. So that was 9. 8 is the Sunset palette. I used to love this palette. This is one I did used to love. It's just a whole bunch of warm goodness in here, okay? Like, this, even though it is all neutral for the most part, I do like the fact that you can create almost a sunset look with it. You know what I mean? You do have a little bit of color here other than the neutrals, but there's just something about this palette. I can't really put my finger on it, but I used to love it. I did. It used to be one of my faves. So the number, let's see, 10, 9, 8, 7, we're going to have issues with me counting, let me tell you. The Tropic palette. First off, I actually prefer this packaging over the other packaging. I feel like it just feels better, you know what I mean? But, I mean, this is just pure goodness, pure color, pure tropic, getaway, vacation. That's what this calls to me, you know what I mean? Love it. And I hate that some of these are, you can't get anymore also. Actually, I think it's, so far, all of these you can't even get anymore. Next is 6, the Trio Chrome. Now, hear me out on this. It looks like this. The packaging is the hard packaging. And this is what it looks like. But hear me out on this, okay? I do like this palette. But it's just not my color story, in a sense. I like it for spring, and I like it for summer. And that's about it. I mean, I do believe you could probably wear some of these shades in the winter and stuff, but it's just not something, again, I gravitate to. Am I glad I have it? Yes. Do I enjoy the looks I get out of it? Yeah, but that could be said with all these palettes. It's just the color story. So now we're what? In the top 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And at number 5, the Lela palette. Y'all, this is just my color story in a nutshell. The pinks, the purples, the neutrals, the cool tone, the warm tone. You get it all in this thing. I love this palette. I do. I really do. I think it's beautiful. Now, it is in the softer packaging, but that's okay. That's okay. We can live with that. But again, you can't, I believe you can't get it. So far, only the Trio Chrome you can get. Well, number 4. The Circle Loco palette. Now this is another color story, okay? Here, it's colorful, but it's a brighter color. And that's what I go for. Like, the Trio Chrome one was more muted, I guess is what you would say. This is more vibrant, more bright, more, I don't know. But like the cotton candies and the pinks and of course the purples, but then you got like the teals. Like, you could just do so much. And it could be a 1 or 2 color look. And don't overthink it. If you purchase this palette, don't overthink it. Stick with 1 or 2 colors, maybe 3. You know what I mean? Don't try to use them all. That's what I do. It never turns out good for me, but you know. Number 3. Y'all, I don't know why people didn't like this palette. I really don't. The Safari palette. I mean, it's just beautiful mattes. And I love to pull this palette when I want to use like a ColourPop, Super Shock shadow, or maybe like a liquid shadow, like a duochrome. Like she's got the, what are those? I don't have it with me. They're down there. Or even like this from Urban Decay. Like I love to pull. That's Fireball. Like those type of things. I love to pull for this palette to get that. You know, these nice. They're nice and they're creamy and they're pigmented and they're easy to work with. Like there's just, I just love this palette. Number 2. Can we guess what 1 and 2 is? Okay. Now, I did say I love colors, but I do love neutrals too. Okay. And number 2 is the Biba palette. And it looks like this. And it's beautiful. It's, quote, your everyday palette. Every day. You know, quote, quote, toned down, you know, not. But let me tell you, it can be in your face. You can make this palette be dramatic. You can make it be subtle. Like, basically whatever you want. And then you do have the warm and you do have some cool tones. So you have a sort of like a mixture of like what you want, you know, depending on what you want. I do like that one. But number 1, this holds so many memories because I remember Tati talking about it. And I mean, to me, if somebody's willing to use that on their wedding day, that says something about an eyeshadow palette. Especially like her. She's beautiful, you know. And she chose this palette for her wedding day. But I don't blame her either. And my palette is dirty, let me let you know. But this is it. And of course, you can guess, I stick to this side. I love this, you know, color story right here. I do like this color story here also. But again, the maroon and the purple, just, love it. And this is just my number 1 palette. It sits on top in my drawer. I mean, I like to pull for it. I like to create the looks. I find it easy to use, to maneuver, to figure out. And in all honesty, the shade Galaxia, I believe is what people have problems with. I do not have problems with it. Now, some people may or may not like the, what was that? This Pat McGrath Artistry Wand. I happen to like it, and I think it works wonderful. And let me tell you, it does hold Pat McGrath shadows, but it'll hold Natasha Denona shadows too. And they don't budge on me. I've wore palettes for at least 8 to 10 hours, okay? At least. And I've never once had a shadow fall, if I use that. Now, I'm not saying you can't use... Hold on. My lips were getting a little dry. I'm not saying you can't use like a glitter glue or something like that, because it would probably work too. But I just find that wand to be amazing. Like, it's so simple and easy. As long as you've got everything blended and where you want it, and you want to blend anymore, because like if you use that and then blend, it never, mats don't look good. Something happens there. But if you're literally just going to put it where you want it, lay down the shadow, good to go. You are good to go. So I do like that artistry one. I know people don't. I don't know why. I really don't, because I find, like I said, it holds my shadows. That's the purpose of it, you know what I mean? I guess if you wanted to continue on, or if you started with that first, that could be the issue, but I always do my lid last, so it works for me. And for inner corner too. It works for inner corner lash line. Like, if you're late, well, I don't put a glitter on my lash line, but if you did, maybe, you know. But inner corner and lid works perfect. So those are my top 10 palettes. What are yours? How would you have ranked it? Did you think I was going to rank it like this? Because I'm going to tell you, it gets harder to rank these things. Although now we're going into what? The Natasha Denona, the mini-minis. So the $25 palettes. No, they raised the price. What is that now? $27, $29 for the palettes now? I forget. But I'll check on it. But we'll start doing those next, and then a ranking on those, and then we get to move on to the next brand. I just don't even know. It gets harder and harder, doesn't it? Anyway, that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I do upload. I upload every day but Sunday. And I'm having a lot of fun going back through my collection. And I hope that you're going through yours. You know, we purchase these things. We need to use them. Because if not, they're just going to go to waste. And that's not good either. Even though I love to just sit and look at palettes, don't get me wrong. Like this one, I can sit and look at this, okay? I can sit here and look at this. There's another one, one of our other little mini ones. I love to just sit and look at, especially like Pat McGrath with those special shades. I can just sit there and look at them. But it ain't gonna do no good, you know? You gotta use them. So I really do enjoy going back and reusing them before I rank, just for the sheer fact of I can let you know also if there is a problem or not, and to let you know that I've had all of these palettes for a very long time and I don't have any issues out of them. So even though there is an expiration date, like these are still going so strong. Like the Star palette has a 24 months. I know I've had this longer than that. I know I have. Easily, I know I have. So, I mean, I just think they hold their value. I really do. Are they expensive? Absolutely. Do you need them? No, you don't need any of it. But if you're looking for one and you're interested in one, you got my countdown, you know, as a beginner's point of view anyway. But that is all I have for you, and I will see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.